Can you imagine you play a chess game tonight and being remembered 200 years later and everyone's still checking each move of yours and how good they are, how bad they are, how your opponents play? Tonight we're going to look at a game called the Immortal game, which was played on 1851. So during this presentation tonight, we'll talk about the Romantic era of chess and what it is. We'll discuss both players in this game that was played in 1851. And also we'll review some of the games played and whether they did good moves or bad moves. And if you're in their situation, and then what will you do? And lastly, we'll recap on what we can learn from this game. So the Romantic era of the chess is actually between the 19th century, 1800 to 1900. And within this century, there's a famous game which is called the Immortal game. The reason why it's called the Immortal game is because it has been remembered since that time until now. And this game was played on June 21st, 1851 in London during the first international chess tournament. And this game is played between Adolf Andersen and Lueno, this name is hard to pronounce, Kursky, something like that. Okay. So, Topaz should present as Adolf. Please, Topaz.
He was from Germany and his age was 833 at that time. He was the world's leading chess player in 1850 and 1860s. He was 50% in winning, starting chess at 9 years old.
So this is very interesting for everyone because even a world champion started chess at 9 years old, and most of you here may be smaller than mine. So this is good. So represent as the black Leonid Kursky or something similar. He's a Russian man, age 45 at the time, which is older than Adolf, and he works as a math teacher. And then later on changed career as a professional chess player, but in Paris. This is interesting. He's actually represent France. So he was recognized as a leading French chess player. So let's see how the game plays to start with. Okay, so we'll stop here. So this is just the opening. So Topaz will talk about the opening.
King's Gambit, commonly played in that time, less common in recent days. White sacrifices pawn as soon as second move to get a lead in development. White bishop able to come out quickly. However, black queen's check stops castle. Double-edged opening.
So something worth mentioning is white played this king's gambit to get a early lead. So as you can see, the bishop is very open, and then he can do lots of other things as well. So let's continue the game.
Black threats white with white. Black threatens white with next ng3 check, but black out developed. Let's discuss together what should white do.
So count is white's move. And what actually happened is, which is this one, and Adolf moved knight to h4. White knight to h4.
White knight to h4.
So what we can see from this move is quite significant because even when the black knight moves down to G3, check, the pawn from H2 can actually take the knight, and then it stops the queen to do any further harm. Because if the knight doesn't go there in the first place, the rook is in danger. And then check, and then other stuff. So the right hand defense line will be destroyed, basically. But what happened is, what we think is, instead of moving the knight to H4, this one, we could actually escape the king, either left or right, could have this a similar protection, because even if the black knight goes to G3 and taken by the pawn, then the queen can't do much stuff. In a similar token as well. So we're thinking that this may be one of the alternative moves that white can have done. But anyway, Adolf has moved the knight to H4. Okay, let's continue to look at how the game played.
No what?
Just look one more, okay? Okay, you understand?
No, wait, what?
Sometimes, right? So what happened is, after what they've moved, they've got the queen in this very perfect position, where when the white pawn goes up, there's a fork of the knight and the rook, one by the pawn and one by the queen. And also there's an alternative threat for black, is that when the bishop moves here, it attacks the queen. So what happened is, black sees the danger. Đấy, topaz, đây là người tình cho topaz.
What?
So what happens is,
Hey, you go queen.
Lots of other things, huh? Topaz, how I move legal knight.
What?
Move this knight up here. The black one. So what Lueno did is retreat the knight in order to stop a forking event that happens. Obviously là nó chìm mà. Okay. So what he did is to retreat the knight back home. Is that a good move? Maybe for this time, because it's able to stop the threat and stop any dangers to happen. However, what happens is, what we're thinking is, if we have moved this bishop here, in the same way, we would have stopped the threat and also at the same time developed the bishop much further. And that is a very important move, because at the end, that bishop somehow caused the king to be trapped. So what we think is, if we have moved this bishop early on to b7, it would have made the whole game different. We will see that later. Hope I got pictures. Okay, let's continue. Done with that?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, yes, so what?
It's too nice. Is that it? So what happened is Adolf moved the knight to d5, which now causes some trouble to black because he can take the threatens the queen, and if it comes here, he will force the knight and the king to check. So the rook, I mean, sorry. So this position is very bad for black. So what happened is Lionel actually moved the queen and took the pawn here from b2 in an attempt to attack. This seems to be a good move because it counters a check in the next move, trying to get the white to defense, which seems to be a good move at the time, but we'll see later. But what we are thinking is, what if the queen moved from here to c6, which is here, topaz? In a way, it stops the knight to move forward and also maintains the queen in the defensive position. Because we're now under attack, so we need to start defending.
What do you say? Yeah.
The picture is not the right picture. Okay, no, I took the wood.
Yes, it is.
The queen took the wood now. Put the wrong picture for this. Let's stop. So what happened is you can see from what so when the queen tries to threaten the king, the white continues on attack. And what happened is at this point of time, black is already in a defeat mode. Whatever he does, most likely he'll lose already. Because what happened is, the king's being trapped from that 2 points. And when the knight comes here to check, the only place to move is here. And when this bishop moves here, it will be checkmate. So what happened is, black saw that. And black moved the knight to a6, trying to defend this box. Therefore, when this comes to check, this move the bishop here, this is not movable. That's what black saw and tried to defend. However, that's not the case. So basically, Okay, so what happens is, when the black tries to do this, it blocks this one.
Well, it doesn't.
However, if the knight continues to come and take the pawn and check, the only move is to come here. Over some way, guys. But what happens is there's still the queen. Check. Knight takes it. And mate from here. Because he can't come here. Remember I talked about this bishop, it blocks the way of the king. So what happened is, rather than doing all this stuff using the knight to come here,
the bishop. Move the bishop.
What we're thinking is move the bishop to b7 to here.
That's my torture.
So even if what happened white is, the king can still come here. At least a bit further. You can escape a bit further. This is one way. But the other way is f6. Where's f6? The reason for that is to give way for this box. Or to protect this one, at least the queen can come up as well. Maybe. But not that grabbing. But moving the bishop seems to be the better way. Okay, let's see. One thing to make a note here is, which is interesting, when we take the knight here to check and then it goes away. Not sure why the queen comes here to check, because this is a dangerous spot. What I was thinking is take this pawn instead, and then we can checkmate next.
No.
That will work too, yes. But don't forget the knight was here before. So rather than coming here to do a immediate sacrifice or coming here to wait for one more move, I'm not sure. I think there's no other way left. Even if I move the queen here, it's still very good. Because there's no other way to protect these two blocks for my queen to go checkmate any one of these. Either if I shift the knight here to release the rook for those blocks, then I just take the knight and then checkmate still. Or if it moves here, I still come back here to checkmate. So I thought this is, I think this is a better move. At least I have more points. I win. But that's not the point. As long as the checkmate is done, it's checkmate. Yeah, all my conclusion.